riots on the streets of Manhattan this morning as Talpa and Roby released their new single, Under the Ice. Record presses have been running overtime to satisfy a seemingly insatiable demand for Talpa and Roby's hits, jostling for position on Billboard Hot 100 with Fred Ventura, Stilu, and now Mike Rogers shaking up the race with his unexpected release, Just a Story. It's all just a story. The world's eyes are on them. American hero, hero American, eroi americani. Mentre l'impero proietta la propria ombra su Tevere, la presidente Sabrina annuncia per i festeggiamenti fontane di Campari installate in tutte le piazze, mentre General Motors, Fiat, Ferrari, Ford ha appena annunciato lo sviluppo dell'automazione di lusso per tutti, eppure gratis. Il futuro è qui ed è meravigliosamente elegante. Non dobbiamo fare altro che volare nelle nostre automobili su per i cieli rosa, prendere i nostri contratti da modelli e lasciare che le nostre emozioni volino via. Sarà Talpa Roby o Fred Ventura?
€5. Non ha credito.
Disco ended pretty quick. You know, the club still existed, but there was no more disco coming out of America. So I feel like that Italian sound filled that gap. That was like 83, 84. That was like peak time Italo.
Noi eravamo talmente convinti di avere copiato gli Alphaville che abbiamo fatto un'altra cosa con un genere diverso, nuovo.
La cosa particolare è che noi abbiamo innata natura romantica, melodica, che ci differenzia tantissimo dalla western music. È una melodia italiana con il testo inglese, non è una canzone inglese. E forse anche questo ha creato quella magia nella Italo Disco.
The voice is calling from the space newspaper. Somebody's coming to eat us some reindeer. Don't be afraid, television saying. Somebody's coming from the strange world. A strong voice coming from the space.
La maggior parte dei nostri fans pensavano che noi eravamo inglesi. Nelle nostre interviste io dichiaravo di essere nato a Pinner, un sobborgo di Londra, perché avevo letto su un giornale che Elton John era nato a Pinner. Quando dei fan ci approcciavano, generalmente rispondevamo in inglese. Poche frasi perché dovevamo fare gli snob, anche perché non sapevamo dire altro di più.
This DJ life is what I dreamed of. To make the people dance all night. To be the big dog.
Perché è un titolo in inglese?
perché piace.
O perché fa moda?
Fa anche moda.
We didn't have money. We were not with a big record label to push us. But throughout Europe, we sold tons of records.
For me and for many of my colleagues, Italo became known as Italo Leather. And we were not really conscious that we were part of a movement because there were different realities happening all over Italy.
Italo was a genre where many of the performers were just faces. They were chosen to mime to someone else's voice.
One case it was the guy who was a piano student of Aldo's. And another case it was through a modeling agency.
It was really an improvised movement.
Keep it on your mind, just nothing you can find. To the side, to the beat, gotta make it a wind up. Round, round, got never to go. Cause when you feel it's only time, so you take it low. Are you jealous? Hot, rough. Are you tired? Never live the running of the night.
Carissima Simona, mio piccolo Dottor's Cat, quando riceverai questa lettera non sarò più su questo pianeta. Cancro, stadio terminale. Tutte quelle sigarette in studio di notte mi hanno fregato alla fine, ma ho lasciato qualcosa per te. Negli ultimi tempi ho pensato al passato, al futuro e a tutti quei futuri possibili che non passeranno mai. A tutti i volti silenziosi hai dato voce nel tempo, a tutte le immagini che hai reso vere. Mi spiace che ci siamo persi negli anni, ma sento come fossimo in verità stati insieme per tutto questo tempo. Vabbè, prima di lasciarmi andare a sentimentalismi, ti saluto. Per favore, vieni al mio funerale. Le istruzioni le trovi in calce alla lettera. Ciao, il tuo produttore di sempre, Gianni.
So I first heard Italo on holiday in Rimini in the 1980s. My parents got a credit card in 1983 and that let us have our only holiday abroad.
I can actually remember I went to a nightclub with my cousins. Like the big hit at the time was Fade to Grey, but all this other Italo stuff was mixed in. They would meet up by the beach, there was this parking lot. And then you hang out during the afternoon, you know, pose and cool, check out girls, and then you go to the clubs.
Rimini was one of the cities where British people, Dutch people, Nordic people were coming to spend their holidays. They were going crazy and bringing those memories back home.
I mean, talking of Italy, our honeymoon was in Italy, and I remember not being able to eat while we were away because I was just kind of so uptight after the wedding.
La discoteca era anche un luogo di sogno, di fantasia, la stessa che noi avevamo facendo la musica e facendo le canzoni. Il pubblico la voleva cercare, la voleva vivere.
And I still kind of find it difficult to go back there because, you know, we just walk the pavements there together and, you know, I can kind of feel him in the pavements, I really can. It's an odd thing. I just kind of look around and I think he saw this with his eyes. I hate to think that it is just there under the surface, but I think maybe it is, you know.
In the club, you can be yourself, but be somebody else, because you are into the magic box, feeling everything, listening to the music, sweating, dancing. It was a piece of paradise you can have for a few hours before coming back to everyday life, you know. And this was so pure, so innocent.
I feel guilty when I feel happy. I feel guilty when I feel happy.
I spent ages getting ready to go to the beach. But then when I was there, I felt this sense of exposure. And I could feel nervous. And I was aware that suddenly I was being seen as a woman rather than a member of my family.
il sentimento di evasione, di fantasia, quello di poter entrare per un momento in una vita fantastica, ti sentivi proiettato verso il futuro. La componente futuristica era molto importante. A 20 anni guarda il futuro con occhi diversi, sia di speranza che di prospettiva.
Noi ci immaginavamo nel 2000 con le automobili volanti, i robot che cucinavano. Io ho sempre sperato che diventasse così. Cos'era il lusso per me? Una macchina sportiva e bei vestiti. Andare in giro poi con le tute argentate è bellissimo. Io quando scrivo una canzone già immagino l'arrangiamento, già immagino come dovrei muovermi, già immagino le foto, i vestiti, perché è un'idea che nasce insieme, non è slegata da qualsiasi altra cosa.
The intention was to make real the idea that another world was possible, where there was no hate.
The Italo Disco came after a very dark period for Italy in terms of politics, terrorism.
We had the Red Brigades, we had the right-wing terrorism, the state terrorism. We were living in a theater where we still don't know who was the real terrorist, if there was somebody behind him or not. The 80s were a way to recover from that gray period. So let's say that the 80s were a way to forget, but also a necessary evolution to survive.
Maybe we exaggerated in our expression because of this.
Simona!
Ciao!
Finalmente ci conosciamo!
Con 30 anni di ritardo.
Pensavo di incontrare Robby.
Anche quella era la mia voce. Piacere. Trovo tutto questo molto strano. Erano almeno 20 anni che non ero in contatto con Gianni.
Nessuno l'aveva più visto. Non ho ancora capito perché ci abbia voluto qui.
Per farci passare del tempo insieme e pensare al passato.
I remembered that the hotter it was, the more anxious I became. In those years, the heat made me feel very anxious.
I feel the sunlight.
I'd just come out to my parents and I was confused by my body, of even having a body. I had sex for the first time on that holiday in the rocks near the hotel. I could see my parents washing on the balcony, drying in the sun. I was aware my mother was ill. I could sense it somehow. It felt like unreal. I think that was that sense of wanting to disappear into the rocks and just wanting to stay there in that moment.
I feel the sunlight on me. Time is passing by.
We faked Anglo-Saxon capitalism for a bit, but it didn't work. Maybe because Italy is a Catholic country, it can never really fulfill the capitalist ethic.
How many days are gone?
Have a lot of girls, have a limousine, have something that other people cannot have. That's luxury.
loss of image, loss of voice, loss of the future, because he never turned up.
Luxury is a better future, and luxury is by definition unobtainable.
I didn't appreciate the holiday at the time, but it was the last holiday with my mother. Holiday, they're like clubs, being on a club, the time stop. And grief can rush back through time.
You lose a parent in childhood. It's like growing up encased in glass. I think I developed a permanent sense of unreality. I could never figure out where the image and reality parted ways. I learned to fake my emotions, to present the image of feeling.
Ero come un attore,
When I arrived at the crematorium, I was like sort of waving, like somebody out of Celebrity Squares, you know, so I remember just kind of waving at people. This sort of game show element of it. You know, it was theatrics the whole way along.
The songs that have these two feelings, happiness and melancholic, sad sensations. The happy part is we are dreaming. Sad part is let's hope they don't wake us up.
Bellissimo.
Che meraviglia.
La storia.
I miei figli mi prendono in giro per gli anni '80. Pensate che l'altro giorno hanno postato un mio vecchio video su Facebook prendendomi in giro, non ho manco detto niente.
Quando mio figlio non dorme gli faccio ascoltare una delle vecchie hit. Se ha paura gli faccio ascoltare sia Cenerentola che Comancero.
Ci credo, davvero?
Poi si tranquillizza. Questo viaggio mi sembra una presa in giro.
Può essere doloroso pensare al passato.
Le tue canzoni significano tanto per tanta gente.
A volte vorrei essere stata io su quel palco, la mia voce, il mio volto, essere vista. Com'era Fred?
A volte è bello, a volte è per niente.
Cinderella's life will be changing every night. She's the star, yeah, she's the sun, and she knows, oh, what is on her mind. I don't know what she will find, but her chances come alive.
Just as beautiful as always.
Want to do any harm, and when go to a sleep with a whole lot of griefs, the revival should say how beautiful life is.
When the dreams run in my mind and I forget my second life, I look at me in my pinky times. I don't care if you think of me that I'm guilty. I know my face is looking right. All this could be alright for me. Yeah, if you think of me that I'm guilty, I know my face is looking right. All this could be alright for me. Never can keep my pretty face. Never can
feel that I've changed completely. I feel, since his death, I think I've discovered this person inside myself that I must have been there all the time. I feel like I've completely changed.
Brian Ice, it takes from here and from there. Every moment we're a different persona.
The son, the friend, the lover, the enemy, the therapist, definitely for someone.
We are all copies of something, and we spend our lives trying to find the original.
You are trying to convey emotions. If they hit a string in the person who listens to them, that makes the whole thing beautiful.
My name was fake, my clothes were fake, the lyrics were fake. But because everyone was prepared to join in the fantasy, for a while he made it real.
When I think about the memories in my life that meant the most, I didn't realise it at the time. And the one thing that unites them is that it's impossible to say with any clarity how I felt. It's a mix of sad and happy, and joy and regret all together. Emotions tend to bleed into one another.
Ultimately, we are all just images.
We were like kids playing, imagining a whole other world before the adults turn up and remind us that it isn't real. Looking back on it all, we invented a whole other world, a totally parallel universe.
Pensavamo fossi morto. Sono venuta al tuo funerale.
Tu hai sempre reso tutto vero, Simone.
From the light on the mountain,
enough matter. I will take a more.